that'll go. So I can live with that. All right, so we've started corn harvest. My sample is decent. Corn feels pretty dry. I need to get an actual test. One thing I'm noticing straight away is a whole lot of head shell on the ground, which I do not like. But it's dry corn. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. I mean, this is directly behind the or directly on the head here. There's just a lot of kernels on the ground. A lot of small kernels. So they're shelling off really easily. But I'm noticing that the majority of my loss is straight out of the head and not the combine. Looking at the ground, I don't have really any more loss to speak of out of the back of the combine than I do from the head. So the only thing I can really do is slow down the head more. And I've got my deck plates all the way in, so I'm doing all I can do. Like I said, I don't like that. There's probably a bushel and a half on the ground just from the head alone. But it is what it is, I guess. There's not a whole lot I can do about that, unfortunately. But I'm going to take a test here. The combine's saying 17%, which I'm good with. So we're going to take a sample here, see what we're actually testing. It is doing good. My field average is about 190 so far. And that's just taking off some crappy end rows. So I think the middle of the field ought to be 200 plus. We'll see. Let's get a test. So we've got a good little start. I've got about, 1,600 bushel in here so far. I might open my concave a little bit. I'm getting little chunks of cob in here. But what I'm really looking at, and this is a big deal with white corn, is that I don't have any kernels that are cracked or split. Because being that this is food grade, you don't want any cracks or splits. So it's looking pretty good. There's a few cockleburs right here. Got into some in the end rows, but all in all, I don't see that I'm stress cracking any of it, which is good. But yeah, the cobs are real rubbery. I noticed I'm getting quite a bit of cob. So I might close down my concave a little bit, because the only loss that I can see in the field is coming from the head, and there's not a whole lot I can do about that. So I've got a generator on the way. That way I can run my fans. That's $3,000 a month, but it's better than spending $30,000 to hook up to 3-phase power. And I don't know. There's 3-phase power lines right there, and the power company wants $30,000 to put a transformer in. So I just rent a transformer, or rent a generator every year. That seems to work fine for now. When I expand to this, then I'll eventually need a transformer, but for the time being, that works just fine. This is definitely my happy place. It's my favorite job every year on the farm, is to shell corn. We're cranking in just shy of 6,000, 7,000 bushel an hour right now. Corn's doing pretty good, so we'll take it. Cranking in the white corn back there. Ha! Tickled to death. Class 9 combine, 12 row head. Good corn right here at home farm here. Ground that I own, right by the grain bins. Grain cart running now. Really doesn't get any better than this. Well, the corn's doing decent, but I'm a one-man band right now, and it's kind of slow going. combine's full, cart's full, truck's full-ish. So, sitting out there, all the white corn on it. So, hopefully, the market stays on this stuff. Because as of now, it pencils a lot better than yellow corn, but it doesn't necessarily do that every year. Well, it's golden hour. Got the sunset, got the sunshine. Brought me some dinner. What'd you cook tonight?
KFC chicken.
KFC chicken. And the corn's hanging in there, so it's filling up about as fast as we can dump it. He's back with the cart right on time, so he's just running it over to the bins and dumping it in the bin. It's all good in the hood. Well, for not starting until about 1:30, we shelled right at 18,000 bushel for the first day. A little over 70 acres or close to it. Something like that, I don't know. Didn't add it all up, but not a bad start for the first day on a late start. Of course, we brought the weigh wagon out and calibrated everything and did all the things, so I don't know, not bad for a first day. I'm gonna go over here and fight with this generator. The company I rented it from brought it with no fuel in it, no coolant, or very low on coolant, I think, and it's throwing about 12 codes and won't stay running, so I have to give them a phone call in the morning because I gotta have these bin fans running. It's a kind of a big deal if they don't. Well, work on Sunday, fix on Monday. It's true again. I didn't even fill the grain cart today. And my PTO shaft here decided to be a 2-piece. So it is plenty long. So what I'm gonna try and do, rather than buy a new shaft, is drive that pin out, slide the old one out, cut this flush, slide it in there, and hope that it works. Maybe temporarily. I don't know. It beats buying a new shaft. But then I'll drill a hole in it, and I don't know that I'll put a roll pin back in here like that one. I might just put a I don't know. I'll just drill a hole in it and drive that back in there, or just shove a bolt in it. I don't know. But stopped rather abruptly. But today is my significant other's birthday, and it's Sunday. So, on that note, I'm gonna take her out for lunch, and we'll leave the fixing for later. So this is what I was concerned about. I got the key out of there, or the roll pin out of there, but the shaft does not want to budge coming out of there. I really don't want to take the cross out of that U-joint, but I think I might have to. So we are going to get the air hammer. Let's see if I can't get it out that way. Morning. As you can see, there's more corn in the corn head than there's supposed to be, and here's why. The PTO shaft decided to take a shit, so nobody has one, so I'm gonna try and chop it off right about there. Slide the old piece out, slide this in, slide it back on, and hope that it works. It should for a while till it doesn't, but it'll work longer than it's gonna take. It's supposed to rain the next 2-3 days too, so we're gonna see if it works and go from there. And I got spicy. I do believe that there is some old grease in there. So now I'm gonna take a burr bit, clean this up a little bit. And I don't see why it won't work. I am gonna have to drill a hole because there is a keyway in there. But clean it up a little bit. Actually, yeah, no, I need to clean up this. So give it a little quick once over with this just to take the burrs off of it. And we should be good to go after this. Maybe, sort of, kind of. Okay, the air hammer also did not work. It didn't even budge. So I've got to go to town here after a while. I've got an appointment. Damn, I got that vise tight. So I'm going to soak this in some panther piss, which is what I just call penetrating oil, and let it sit for a little bit. And I don't know. Then we'll get it cherry red, put it in the press, take that cross off, put it in the press, see if I can't get it out with that. It's a 110,000 pound press, so if that don't get it out, it isn't meant to come out. But sitting there looking at it, there's not any other collars or anything like that that should keep it in there. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what made it break in the first place, but it did. So I don't know. Try and get back to shelling corn before it rains today, but I doubt that's going to happen. Poor man's grain leg. At least we got a pit to dump into today. Called in the cavalry today. Got my other half running the grain cart with one little boy in it, and he wanted to ride in here. So we're hammering down pretty good corn, and about 230, 240 hanging in there. So it is a little bit wet, but it'll buff. And here we go. Well, there we go. Now we're dumping. Morning. We were supposed to get about 3 inches of rain, and instead we only got about a ½ inch. So shelled my first hopper this morning. I'll pull the tester out here. It's reading about 21-22%, which to put in a bin is pretty sketchy, even though I do have really big fans. I don't like that at all. So we're gonna get a test and I don't know, see what we're actually at. I really don't want to sit it out, but I may have to if it's that wet, or go find another field that's maybe a little bit drier. I don't know. So this will be the true test. My moisture sensor could be off a little bit. That's saying 19.6, which still isn't great, but I can live with that. So I am going to pull about 3 more samples. This has seemed to be dead on with the elevator this year, within like a point, ½ a point or so. I mean, it's not a $5,000 tester by any means, but it works. And corn's cheap, and I'm not going to go buy a $5,000 tester right now. But sample's not too bad. I'm getting a lot of cob, little pieces of cob, which when I opened my concave, then I was getting cobs on the ground that didn't have all the kernels off. So I think it's just because they're a rubbery cob. I have almost no loss on the ground other than what's coming from the head right now, so pretty pleased with that. But the way it's piling up, it is definitely a little bit wetter corn. Sticking my hand in here, it's not great, but you can feel some moisture to it. But take a couple more tests here, and then I'm going to recalibrate this combine too, based on what this is telling me. Still chugging along here, going about 4.5 miles an hour. In fact, I need to slow down a little bit. She's keeping up for the most part with the cart, but we're in like ½ mile long rows now, so by the time she drives over to the grain bins, dumps, and comes back, it's kind of difficult. And she called me a minute ago and said she spilt some corn. And I said, like, spilt some corn like a 5-gallon bucket, or like I'm gonna need the skid steer? And she said, yeah, probably the skid steer. So I haven't seen it yet. Looks like there's a little pile over there, but shouldn't be too bad. But anyhow, we'll get that cleaned up later, and we'll keep on plugging away at it. And I will say, when I put this handful in, it did feel wetter, so that is showing 21.8, which is, so I'm actually going to leave the combine alone because it's reading anywhere from 18 to 22 as I'm going across the field. My field average is 19.7 right now, so I'd say it's actually pretty well dead on. So I'm actually going to leave that alone. Walk across here, get the grain cart. The thing is, I've got a 10,000 bushel contract to haul this fall to Evansville. So what I'm going to do is fill that bin about 3/4 of the way and then switch over to the other bin. Big bin over there. They're 55,000 bushel bins. So switch over to the other bin, and then I'll be able to core the 10,000 bushel out of the first bin that I'm filling and get some stuff moving around in there. So that'll definitely help get some corn dry. I mean, if I can haul it out around 17%, I think the fans will get me down to that, so I'd be content with that. It's not even noon and I've already picked up a hitchhiker. You ready to roll today? I've kind of just been piddling around this morning. I got the cows fed and gave them a bale and cleaned this lot up. They've kind of been assholes lately, and they've got the fence down right there. And I haven't had time to fix it, so they're in their timeout pen up here, which is good for them. I'm surprised they're not mooing at me. They usually have an attitude every time I come up here, but they can't get out of this pen, but it was getting sloppy because it rained the other day, so I pushed up a bunch of the manure. What do you think? She's mad because I don't have corn in my hand. But pretty good group of cows. They just they get curious and they like to wander out, so we fixed that problem. Morning. We got the white bee's wings flying. Combine's pretty well ready to go. I'm gonna do a midday service on that. I'm gonna blow the air filter out and fuel it up, grease it. But other than that, it's good to go. I only put like 40 acres on it yesterday, so not gonna mess with it yet. But should be ready to roll here in a little bit. Still a pretty good dew on, so I may go ahead and do that actually. I'm gonna fuel the generator up, fuel the auger tractor up. That bin is about 2/3 full. Should finish filling it today and then switch over to that one. So we shall see.